Hi everyone. This is the second part of the 4B study guide. This is problems 9 through 15, pretty much mostly word problems. 9 would be an exception to that. Which is the graph of f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 3x minus 2? Now we don't want to go through all of the steps, finding all of the parts of the graph. That's a huge waste of time. Let's pay attention to some key details. First key detail. Negative 2 in the front, that tells us it's going to open down. So the ones that open up are immediately eliminated. A is not an option, and D is also not an option. Next easy thing we can look for is the y-intercept. The trick there is 0C, so 0, negative 2. So B and C are all that's left. And unfortunately, they both have that, so they both passed that test. The only other thing we can really look at, and it's kind of obvious looking at the graph, is the axis of symmetry, this dashed line here. Notice they are in different spots. So we're going to find the axis of symmetry, and then whichever graph is the one we're looking for is going to be the winner. Axis of symmetry, remember, that is that itty-bitty formula. X equals negative b over 2a. So we have x equals negative b is a positive 3 here, over 2 times a is negative 2. So x equals negative 3 over negative 4. Those two negatives make a positive. So x equals positive 3/4. So when I look at my two options, this one's on the negative side of the x numbers. So there's no way it's my C here. Here we can see 3/4. It's positive. It's just before the 1, as it should be. So this is in the right spot. So B is my answer. Number 10, this will only take just a moment. The tables below represent data from 2 arrows being shot into the air. Use the data provided to find the maximum height of each arrow and state which arrow reached the highest point. So if we look, the X column, this is the time in seconds after the arrow is released. So we're shooting an arrow up in the air. It's going to go up, and then it's going to obviously come back down. We want to know what's the highest point it reached. So we're just going to come through here and look for the biggest number in the table. This is the height column. And we're going to do this for both tables. So just a bit of a glance here. We get to the 900s, and then we go back down. So we've got 930, 982, and 906. Obviously, 982 is the largest number there. Now let's do the same in the other table. This one's obviously going to be the winner because we're already into the thousands. And the biggest number here is 1407. State which arrow reached the highest point. This is probably me being a little extra here, but just in case, I'm going to restate the answer. Arrow B reached the highest point. This is me just covering my bases, making sure I truly answered the question. All right, back page. 11. The graphs below represent the heights of 2 divers after they jump from a diving board. Use the graphs to find the maximum height of each diver and state which diver reached the highest point. So we're just going to read the graph. So maximum height. So height is always on the y-axis, which makes sense. It's a vertical thing. And then we want the highest point. So highest point. So identify it. Yeah, this one's a little harder to read. Okay, so on the left graph, let's come look over here. We've got 20, so this in between, since this is 24, this has got to be 22 right here. Since we're in between 22 and 24, I'm going to call this 23. Now, what I'm about to show you over here is not a big deal at all, and actually, this is on us. We should have changed something. But notice that this height is in feet and this one is in meters. So, let's fix that. They have to be in the same unit, obviously. If they're in different units, we're comparing apples to oranges here. All right, so let's look. This is clearly on the 30 line. So this is 30. So, obviously, diver B went the highest. I'm going to box that one. Fun fact, if we were going by meters, the diver would still win by a long shot because 1 meter is about 3 feet. So it would be even more than 30 feet. So either way, diver B1. If you didn't notice that, don't worry. I just know I have some students who probably would have noticed. All right. Write the following equation into intercept form. Intercept forms this here. Don't get tripped up on all the letters. That's just where it's a factored form. That's all that intercept form is, factored form. By the way, we have not shown you how to do this with quadratic formula. So if we give you a problem, that means you can factor it. And it's going to factor very nicely. So please factor it. All you're doing is factoring this. That's it. So set up your ACB table and factor it. So A here is 1, so negative 63. B is 18. Okay. Don't forget your y equals. That is extremely important. This is an equation, so you have to have your y equals. So we have our x's. We can figure out our symbols a little bit. We have a negative 63 here. To get a negative here, when we multiply, we have to have a plus and a minus. So let's go ahead and write that down. All right, let's think of factors of 63. That could give us 18. We'll start with the obvious two, 1 and 63. To get positive 18, the bigger number has to be positive. So I'm going to put that negative on the 1. That gives us 62. That's not what we're looking for. So let's keep looking. It's not even, so we can't take a 2 out of it. What about a 3? Yeah, let's do a 3. All right, this is where your calculator will very much come in handy. 63 divided by 3 is 21. Again, to get positive 18, my big number has to be positive. So put 3, give the negative to 3. 21 minus 3 is 18. So that worked. So make sure you put these in the right spot. I have the plus first. That means the 21 has to go here because the 21 has to be positive. So the minus 3, that goes second. And I'm done. This is literally all we are asking for. You don't have to multiply it. You don't have to split and solve. Don't do anything else. Leave it like this. 13, same thing. ACB chart. AC is negative 36. B is negative 5. Again, we can set this up. X, we've got a negative 36 again, so we got that plus minus. All right. We can throw out the obvious 1 and 36. To get a negative 5, my big number has to be negative. 1 minus 36, that's negative 35. Not even close. Let's keep looking. I don't know about you. When I see 36, I think of 9 and 4. 9 will be the negative here so that we can get a negative answer. 4 minus 9, that is negative 5. That's exactly what I was looking for. So x plus 4, x minus 9. Make sure you put them in the right spot. It doesn't matter which one you write first. If I flip-flop these, I did x minus 9, x plus 4, that's still correct. Just make sure that the signs are correct. Number 14. The path of a frog jumping onto a lily pad can be represented by the function h of t equals negative 0.5 t squared plus 2t plus 1. What is the height of the frog after 2 seconds? The question tells me everything I need to be looking for. What is the height? So that's what I'm looking for. H. H equals, I don't know, so I'm trying to figure out. Of the frog after 2 seconds. This is so important. 2 seconds, that tells me t here, t time. T is 2. So the question, what I'm trying to figure out, if t equals 2, what is h? That's the question. So plug in 2, find h. I can ignore the h of t, just write h. Don't worry about that. Negative 0.5, I'm going to put 2 in here, squared, plus 2 times 2 plus 1. Negative 0.5 times 2 squared is 4, plus 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1. You can grab out your calculator for this if you want. 4 times negative 0.5, that's negative 2, plus 4 plus 1. Negative 2 plus 4, that's positive 2, plus 1. That's going to give me 3. And then they don't give us units, but usually we work in feet. So I am assuming here that we're talking about feet. You don't have to include the units. It's not a big deal, but I like to include units. It makes me feel better. Last problem. Your friend hit a golf ball on the 9th tee of the course. The initial velocity of the ball was 28 feet per second, with the height off the ground modeled by the equation. H equals negative 7t squared plus 28t. This whole sentence here, don't get tripped up over it. Genuinely don't. The only important part of the sentence was the equation. What was the maximum height of the golf ball? Maximum height. That tells you everything. Remember, on our graphs, the maximum was the vertex. So we want to find the vertex, and then height tells me I specifically want the y value of the vertex. So I don't want the whole point, I just want the y value. Now I'll have to find the whole point to get that. But when I state my answer, all I care about is the y value. So let's find our vertex. X equals negative b over 2a, always. Negative b, be careful here, it's not that one, it's attached to t. 28, it's positive here, so now it's a negative 28 over 2 times a is negative 7. Negative 28 over negative 14. This becomes positive 2. So x is 2, now let's find y. Y equals, you're just going to plug 2 into the equation. Negative 7 times 2 squared plus 28 times 2. Negative 7 times 2 squared is 4, plus 28 times 2 is 56. Negative 7 times 4, that's negative 28, plus 56. Negative 28 plus 56 is positive 28. I'm going to just double check me real quick. Yep, 28. This one was given feet. Yes, here. 28 feet. That was the maximum height of the golf ball. And we are done with the study guide completely. If you have any other questions over the study guide that this video didn't answer, feel free to reach out to me via email or come see me in person at some point. Otherwise, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye!